and welcome back to my channel. It has been a long time, and if you are watching this, you've probably seen the title of the video, which is that I failed. And the best way to put it is I don't feel like bad. Usually when I say I failed at something, I'm like, oh my gosh, I really messed up. But I just overcommitted myself this fall, and that's life. So we're gonna talk a little bit about it. So I'm going to go out of order, and I guess actually I kind of skipped this thing. So what exactly happened this fall? So, and I keep accidentally typing because I got a new iPad. So this fall, I think I did mention I was starting law school back in August. And so I had this really big plan where I was going to organize my entire house. I was gonna have the schedule. I was gonna follow it perfectly. And that just didn't work out. I'll be honest. So the biggest surprise for me with law school is the amount of work you have to do before class. So my program is a hybrid online program. And just telling you a little bit about the way it works is that, so we have basically, I have one like a week and a half before classes start again. My live classes, okay, now I have a cat walking over me. So my live classes start on January 8th, and the way it'll work is my online classes, or my asynchronous, so my online work becomes available on January 1st. And so the way my classes work is that I have to do all of the same prep somebody in a traditional law program would have to do. So typically that's a lot of reading. I always basically start off like throughout the week, I do all of the reading, like I brief every single case. And then because we don't have as much time in person, we, or like live in person, we have an asynchronous component, which is basically, it covers usually about half the material for the week is going to, instead of us being in class and being cold called on, we basically go through like prompts and discussion boards where we do a lot of video discussions, which I hate. I prefer the ones where I just get to type my response because I feel like it's a lot more coherent. And then we have the following week, we have a live class covering all of that material. So that's how my program worked. So for me, the biggest adjustment was that I had to do a lot of work outside of class, and then I'm also still working full-time, and these classes run at night from 6 to 7:30. Or this spring semester, it's actually, I have one night that is, or at 6 to 7:45, I have one night that's 5:30 to 7:30, and the other one is still 6 to 7:45. So I just overcommitted myself. I was not prepared for the workload. And then the other things that, the other thing that kind of I would say influenced my struggles this fall is that I did start medication back in the winter of last year, so around February of last year. That makes me really tired, and I could absolutely sleep forever on it. And that's definitely messed up my sleep schedule, so it is something I'm looking at changing actually to try to figure that out, because the amount that I'm sleeping is driving me insane. So we're gonna pause and talk to the dog. No, baby. You come here. You come sit here. I'll move Kramer. So what am I going to do for 2024 to maybe try to remedy some of this? So the first one is I really do need to figure out a schedule and stick to it. I actually started to write my own training plan. I tried purchasing one again, and none of that really worked. So none of that worked for me. And I will say, I don't think it was what I wrote. I don't think it was the training plan itself. I just really think for me personally, I had overextended myself and was not fully prepared for the amount of work I would have with school. And so right now I am actually using Motive again. So I decided to give it another try using the paid version. And I definitely haven't, I've slowly been getting in a few workouts the last few weeks, nothing close to perfect. I've done a swim workout, I've done a couple of the bike workouts, I've done some of the run workouts. So that's kind of just what I'm playing around with on the paid version of that right now to try something new. And I think for now I'm going to keep doing that just because I do really like, one of the things I didn't get to try when I did it previously, I got to use like the feature where you have the workouts in Zwift, and I really liked that. So yeah, going forward, my plan is just to try to get a better routine, and I could sit here and talk all about building a good routine and what I'm trying. I can just show, you can kind of see off to the side here where the cats are bringing up against them to see how much work law school was. So I have a legal dictionary, 2 notebooks, there's 3 more upstairs. I have the first year outlines that we got for free from Barbary. I have my torts textbook. I have the strategies and tactics for the multi-state bar exam because I need to do a lot of multiple choice practice before finals. Then I have examples and explanations for torts, and then I have just some fun reading I'm doing. So all of that was just like there basically, other than the dictionary. That was basically sitting there from studying for finals. So that's kind of how much I had going on. And like I said, for me, I never had to prepare for classes before, so it was something really new to me. And I am rambling now. So we're going to jump into a couple workouts tomorrow because I'm just chilling tonight with my dogs. I got a second dog. She is enjoying a chew toy that I have to take away soon because she'll make herself sick. So I'm just going to be hanging out with my dogs tonight. I've been traveling for the holidays, and that kind of just throws me off completely because I wouldn't think the 1 hour time zone difference would make that much of a difference, but the sun comes up at like 8 a.m. in Ohio, so that really threw me off. I actually got in a really fun rain run while I was up there. It was just a zone 2 run based on the motive training plan actually. So that was really good for me, and yeah, I will catch you in the workout part of this. I think we're going to at least do a swim, and then I'm thinking some mobility, just because I have some issues with my hip that definitely need to be figured out if I am going to keep training, and I'll get into that. It's a whole other thing later, but yeah, if you have listened to me rambling, thank you, and I will catch you in the next clip, which should be at the pool tomorrow. So this is take 2 on my post-swim clip. My dog Deagle freaks out when I film, so I'm gonna try and either start filming up here a little bit more, or I'm thinking about like putting a chair down in my garage and filming there. Also thought about putting a chair in a closet. We'll see. So swim went good. What you just saw was just my warm-up. So it was a 600. I did 100 free, 50 back. I've got old issues with my right shoulder, and the way I sleep makes it worse, and I think it's just getting stiff because I sit with my right arm kind of propped up a lot during the day just because it's on like the arm of the couch, or at work it's out in front of me. And then I did something to irritate my left shoulder during like my first 50. But the backstroke really helped because it just kind of opens up my chest muscles a little bit and kind of opens up my upper body. It was kind of funny. I was watching a video from somebody today talking about dancers, and they're kind of, it seems like they're the opposites of swimmers. So she was saying, I think if I remember right, she was saying like somebody needed to like open up their back a little bit because they're like very upright, shoulders back, and like swimmers were very hunched forward because we tend to have very tight chest muscles. So that helped me out there. Then I sort of modified the mode of workout from what should have been yesterday, but like I said, I just don't feel great after traveling, and it takes me a few days to reset. So I did 450s kick with Finge, just kind of, again, still warming up. I like the way it was structured because I like a drill set or kick set before my main set. So that was 450s kick with fins. On the way down, I did fly kick on my back. On the way back, I did backstroke. And sometimes I find with fins, I do start to use, like, kind of do like the kick from your knees, which you're not supposed to do. So I just really focused on the backstroke kick, really making sure I'm kicking from my hips, because since I have been out of the pool, I want to make sure I'm taking every opportunity to fix technique items that maybe I haven't paid attention to in a long time. And then main set was 4 200 swim. I did them on like a bigger, easier interval, just kind of trying to keep the same time on all of them. At first, I was kind of debating doing like the first 2 swim, the second 2 pull. I was able to get through all of them swim, and I think that was a good call. I think I did need to stay away from using paddles today, even though I really wanted to use them. And then I finished off with another drill set. So it was written, I think, actually as like more of a speed set, or like maintaining like a steady set. I did 650s pull with no paddles, moving the pull buoy from like between the top of your thighs for the first one, between my knees for the second one, and then between my feet for the last one, which is a great drill just to think about your body position in the water and head position. So I focused on that a lot for those last 650s, and then I warmed down. Overall, it was a really good swim. I was able to maintain my pace on the 200s, really focused on just like taking advantage of like the leg power I built up when I was strength training a lot to get a good push off the walls. And then the only issue I had really is that the water at the pool I swim at is warmer just than what I've gotten used to, because I swim at a different pool usually, or at least when I swim Masters, I swim at a different pool. And so the water there, I get kind of nauseous after swimming in warmer water. I think sometimes and if it's outside even, I get motion sickness. So that was a little bit rough. And I like had a lot of salt cravings after, which is weird. If anybody else has ever experienced this, please let me know, because I would love to hear that I'm not crazy and that this is like a normal thing. And then the funniest thing that I thought about every time I go to this pool, because it is the one where I grew up swimming, I swim there the day it opened. It is very yellow inside. They have actually toned down the yellow a little because they did change the lane ropes, are now blue instead of yellow. But my sister had to study like color psychology in college, and I just remember when she came home one time and was like, oh yeah, the color yellow apparently makes people, I had to double check, I'm not like making this up, it makes people like frustrated or angry, even though like we all like kind of see it as like a happy color. So I just thought that was funny. I do not feel frustrated or angry right now, although I am a little bit warm in this parka because I just walked my dogs. So yeah, I was going to film some mobility work and include it in this video, but I don't want to make this too long. I'm also talking really fast. So I'm going to do the mobility work in a separate video. Not quite as like a follow along workout, but just as like a example workout, I guess. And I'll talk a little bit about mobility and what I'm doing, because I am having some knee problems at the moment. But the surprising thing on my swim was As a part of my warm down, I do double arm backstroke with a breaststroke kick sometimes, and I have not done breaststroke kick in a very long time. But it didn't hurt me on that, so that was good news. But it did hurt me a little bit. I stayed away from my bike today because when I have knee problems, it tends to bother me. Not too much on the bike, but if I do try and stand, and I like to stand some when riding inside, and then it can get a little bit irritated on like heavier power things. Yeah, so staying off my knee. So to close this out, if you did enjoy this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. If you have any thoughts on why I get nauseous from swimming the pools or any other thoughts, please leave those down in the comments. I try to read and respond to all of them, but I do forget, and I have been off YouTube a lot lately, and I'm just going to commit to a minimum schedule and try to like film ahead of time going forward. So we'll see how that goes, and I will see you in the next one. Do you want me in the video? Oh.